Good evening and welcome to another Monday Night Live. Thanks for joining us. Precision Golf, 6 p.m. Back with Simon and myself. How's the weekend been for you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, very busy day Saturday in here, which is always nice. And then Sunday, walking the dog and not doing much else.
How is Doris?
She's very good. She had to cut her food down.
Yeah, that doesn't go down well, does it?
I think the treats in between the main meals are what make it okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Illegal treats.
So the season's kicked off in earnest this week, Dubai Invitational. It was a great event to see two figureheads of European golf going head to head. Fleetwood comes out on top. Did you watch?
I watched most of it. I couldn't watch the very end, but I saw a good chunk of it, and I think I thought a great advert for those two. I think there were some really Fleetwood's up and down from the front bunker on 10, sort of 70 odd, 60 odd yard bunker shot, foot and a half, epic. There was some very good and some very poor, and yeah, I think the very good. I think Tommy was incredibly consistent, which is the name of his game. Rory just does Rory. The amount of shots in the water of the week, and in that last round, 2 in the water in the last round, when how one was a 4-iron left on the 7th and one on 18, you're leading. What are you doing hitting driver?
How much emphasis do we place on the caddy for you?
There's got to be some, but you're also you're a former world number 1, multiple major winner. So the scenario on 18 for me is him pulling driver brings those bunkers into play. Why is that even in your thought process? So, but then is the caddy doing enough of a job by letting him take the driver out the bag? Yeah, there are multiple layers of how.
From my perspective, I think it feels like there could be a few layers to the story. I think Rory, he's come out and said that this year he meets with as much anticipation as any year on tour. He looked at his team and I think I forget the podcast name, but it's Stick to Football or something like that, where you've got Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher and Ian Wright and what's the other guy's name? Anyway, Man United player. But they interviewed him, and it was the interview where Rory came out and talked about live golf and that kind of thing. He's come out and openly said that this year, on the back of everything else that's gone on, it's a year that he feels like he can go forwards and conquer all. It feels like the early play of the year is prescribed because with his team, he's talked about how well he plays after a stretch of golf from the Masters. Yeah. So he's trying to play more golf early in the year. It does feel to me as though the pulling of the driver, the aggressive nature of the golf that he played might be in preparation to the major championships, to test himself, to see where his game's at. I'm not saying that necessarily that is a good way to go, but someone of his experience, he would probably have thought, I'm a big enough player, I should be sort of stamping my authority on this field. And maybe he just came unstuck, but there may be an undercurrent there that he's thinking about, how am I feeling? How's my swing holding up in a situation that is pressure packed? It's not major pressure packed, but he's still winning a tournament or leading a tournament. I just wonder how much of that played into the mix.
I'd say from where he was pulling driver on that course regularly through the tournament, I would absolutely agree. I think there was I'm stamping my authority on this, come what may. I think it kind of felt like he was doing it to show he was
the man.
The man, yeah. And you look at the scenario and the shot hit. There can only be that in it. Because Tommy's just birdied 17. I think he was teeing off first because I didn't see that bit. I don't think Rory birdied 17. So Tommy's in play. Is he just trying to send it over the top of him to go? I've just got to flick in.
Not to undersell the birdie for Tommy down the last.
Not
right?
at all. Not
birdie
at all.
to bogey. That was.
But I think if Rory's middle of the green making a par, suddenly that putt's not for a win. That's just to get into a playoff.
Yeah.
Does it actually drop?
Yeah.
It's a free putt. You're in a playoff no matter what. So it may be winning that isn't that important for Rory now. Maybe it is exactly that. It's a case of, well, I've achieved what I wanted by being in contention and by, considering he'd made those mistakes in the last round, the shot in the water on, I think it was 7, the 3-putt from 2.5 foot on 8, and still leading going up the last hole. Maybe he's like, well, I'm where I want to be.
Yeah.
So,
That being said, I think any time you win and you get it over the line, you walk away with a lot more confidence than you had. Well, he walks away with less confidence than Tommy.
But and I think that's so big for Tommy because he hasn't won in a while, has it? So,
no, most definitely. Yeah. The other caveat to that is that when they walk away and they start thinking, well, how did my swing perform? And again, this is only hypothesis. But if they did walk away and start thinking about his golf swing and his mechanics, they then start a bit of a build process of trying to change his swing before April, when really he's playing great golf. I think the only thing that stands in Rory's way is Rory. And I think getting more wins under his belt is the catalyst that gets him out of his own way. And I think that is where we see Rory at his best, when he wins, whether it be wire to wire or just gets over the finish line. That's when he's at his best golf.
And to be fair to him, he had 62 first round, essentially wide away. And the first tee shot he hit in that last round, it was one line on the shot tracer. It was
incredible.
What a quality shot.
Incredible.
So,
As usual, we've got the iPad to hand. You'll notice that we haven't bashed Rory. I've been very conscious that I didn't want to come on tonight and bash him because I give Rory a bit of a hard time. I think he does have to live up to a lot of expectation from a lot of people. So we've got a few of you firing in your messages and questions. You can always fire a good question at Simon. I'm still yet to see him taxed by a question, which I'm really disappointed about. Well, should I say stumped? Let's say that. And if you want to talk anything golf swing, feel free to fire them over to me. So we've got Chris Champion on. Several weeks ago, I asked Simon about the Modus 115 versus the 120. I tried both, and the 115X was far and away the winner, as he predicted. Thank you for your recommendation, Simon. Beautiful.
Glad. I couldn't remember actually making a recommendation, but yeah, they are very different shafts, so one's certainly going to win out.
Brilliant. And thanks for giving us some backstory there. I had a fitting a few weeks ago, and Ventus TR Blue 6S and 6X gave similar performance with slight edge to the X SS 108 to 105 miles an hour. X was a bit hard work. Maybe tip the S 1 inch to split the difference.
Don't. Because with Ventus, the Velocor's in the tip, and if you tip it, you're taking the stiff bit out. So actually, what you've got to be careful of, on a lot of shafts, yes, tipping it will shorten the parallel section, will stiffen the tip up a little bit. The reason the S swung better and worked better was because it's a 1 or 2, it's fractionally lighter, doesn't feel quite as firm. But if you tip it, you'll remove the Velocor and you'll make it softer. So don't tip it.
And that's Weighs the Man. Kyle Amick, it's 1 p.m. in the States. Well, good afternoon to you. Have you started your Monday afternoon well with us, or is it about to get even better with a bit of golf?
Yeah, he's having Chick-fil-A. It's about to get brilliant.
And he could be playing golf this afternoon as well in the sunshine of Florida or something like that, as opposed to the -1 that's kicking around outside. Yeah. Chris Champion goes on to say, back to work, lunch is over and meetings all afternoon. We'll have to catch up after work. Thank you, Chris. Lovely to have you on. Martin Williams retracted a comment, so make sure that you maybe adjust it and send it back in. Kyle Amick, been playing golf for 2 years and I have game improvement irons. My issue is the ball flight is really high. My 7-iron club speed is 96 miles an hour.
That'll be why it's high.
That'll be why it's high. Do I need to stay away from the game improvement irons?
Not necessarily. So there's a big misconception that game improvement irons stop you getting beyond a certain standard. We've got a set of clubs on the entrance as you come in that certain Mr. Montgomery used to get to world number 2, and they are essentially a game improvement iron. So they're Big Bertha Callaway irons. So they don't stop you improving. At your club speed, you're going to hit it high. And if you don't hit it high, then there's something wrong. So at 96 club speed with a 7-iron, that's most people's driver speed, or even beyond a lot of people's driver speed. So if you take a decent 7-iron launch and put your speed on it, it's going 120 feet high. So don't worry about the height. It's more, where does the spin sit? Are the heads giving you good off-center performance? Are they giving you a good launch and spin balance? But don't automatically switch out of them.
And one key point to all of that, Carl, is if you don't want that 96 miles an hour, feel free to dump a load towards Simon and I, because we'll gladly take 5 or 6 miles off an hour off you, and we'll drag you down to 82, 83, no problem at all.
Then you won't have any problem with height whatsoever.
It's a real asset to have that kind of swing speed. Dan, Brett, evening guys. Any idea when you'll be getting the SM10s? Before you answer that, Simon, we are going to be getting into the new TaylorMade and the new Callaway drivers. We're going to be hitting some of those, so do hang around, taking all your questions on those. And if you want to see a couple of old men swinging, well, one swinging faster than another because I'm out of shape, do hang around. So go ahead and answer Dan's question.
So SM10, I am not yet officially allowed to say anything other than a date will be announced later in the month. But yeah, I sadly right now, until the 22nd of January, I can't tell you a date. I know what it is, but I just can't say it.
Okay.
Later, coming.
Niall McCloskey, is there any advantage to Ping G430 drivers being so heavy? My head weighs 206 grams, nearly 8 grams heavier than other drivers.
So what Ping do when they set up, so the theory is more mass, better efficiency, more momentum. So what Ping do is they use a counterbalance shaft and a heavier head to keep swing weight down, and with the principle that at, let's just pick a speed at 100 miles an hour, a 208 gram head is going to impart more momentum and more ball speed, more efficiency than a 200 gram one. The problem is that relies on all else being equal, and there's a human on the end, so it doesn't. So there are a lot of players that need the lighter weights. That's why they've got the weight in the back that can be changed. So they go from 11 grams up to 29 grams that you can put in the back. So you can change it quite a lot, but we rarely use the standard head weight in our builds.
Brilliant. Martin Williams asks, could you test the Callaway triple diamond driver with a graphite design AD DI6 stiff, please? And do you think it would work well with it at about 95 miles an hour of club speed?
I mean, absolutely, it'll work well at 95 miles an hour club speed. I just don't know whose swing. He's one that goes, without wishing to sound kind of avoiding an answer. The answer is it will for some people, and it won't for some people. It's purely down to how you deliver the club. It can work for sure at anything from 95 or 90 to 110 miles an hour. It depends who's swinging it.
And to give you a good point on that, Simon and I swing the driver nuts and bolts exactly the same club speed. My driver's 11 degrees, Simon's around 9 degrees, and we're using two totally different weighted golf clubs, yet we are exactly the same swing speed. So for you could be hitting up on it, you could be hitting down on it, you could have an open face, you could have a closed face, different dynamic loft readings, different spin readings. So that club...
I'll hit it at 95 miles an hour now.
Okay, we'll hit it at 95 miles an hour. So the Q10, while you're doing that, and the new Callaway AI
Smoke.
The AI Smoke. I mean, they've gone all out with the name, haven't they? Both of them, to be fair. For those of the folks at home that haven't necessarily read up on the AI Smoke, firstly, do we know where the names come from?
So Paradigm,
Smoke finished.
Same series.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence on the face, working out. So with this one, what they've done is they've mapped hundreds of players of particular handicap and swing styles, and optimized the face and the contact points and the face thickness and the design of the face around the average delivery of those players. So John Rahm has had a club face specifically modelled around his impact and his swing lines. So that potentially is one of the futures of club fitting. If you want to go and spend $2,000 on going to Callaway to get them to make a head for you, it might even cost more. But you could have a head mapped around your particular impact dynamics and strike point. But that's that's really where they're starting from. The Smoke, well, if we look at the bottom of the head there, So each one of these, it's a different pattern. They're all unique patterns. It looks,
Oh, really?
I have had someone describe it as looking like a kitchen surface.
Oh, do you know what? I thought the wrapper was still on it.
No.
Oh,
It's a
interesting.
unique, due to the nature of the material.
Oh, I can't believe that. When they were standing over there, I thought, they'll be taking the wrappers off those in a minute.
So and that's the smoke thing of it. It's kind of
Interesting.
smoky. Yeah.
Right, interesting. Smoky finish. Yeah. And could we be heading in a direction that heads will, and you talk about strike point, heads will put the sweet spot out on the toe, more towards the heel, more towards the middle, high on the face, purely dictated by when we see someone's strike pattern on the screen, this is the head that you need, i.e. high and out the toe.
Within reason. I think there are, that exists a certain amount, and that's where the different weight dynamics. So for example, on the back of the standard one, there's a bit of lead tape to weight this up, but you can see the sliding weight there. That enables you to move the weight heel and toe to kind of facilitate the centre of mass moving behind a strike point. So high and low is tougher. That's when you'd use things like a triple diamond versus a 430 max. So someone has a lower strike point or traps it, or you can utilise the centre of gravity of the heads for that. So they are doing that to a point, but yeah, I mean absolutely. That's exactly what they Callaway have done with this head. Is said right, the general miss pattern for this type of player with this type of shot is here on the face. So therefore, we're optimising performance more off that part.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So at the request of
95.
Martin.
Triple diamond at 95.
Marty, so triple diamond, 95 miles an hour. Have you got tees in your right pocket and golf balls in your left pocket? Because I think that's what Martin carries as well.
I'm clearly imbalanced. I've got nothing in my left pocket. I've got a lip balm, a tissue, and a microphone thing in my right pocket.
Got it. Okay. Well, let's hope that doesn't distract.
Right.
If you are tuning in, we are welcome questions, requests. Feel free. Nice little drop kick. We welcome any questions, any requests. We'll hit any iron, any driver, any hybrid, any wedge, any club that you can think of. We'll gladly test for you.
I can get 95 out of this.
It's
92.
92 and a half.
Let's give it one more.
And so looking at the data points here, we've got. Yeah, it wasn't too bad when it comes to ball speed and energy off the face. Low, spins a little bit low.
Spins quite strong, and that's so with the triple diamond. That would be the one thing I would say if you're at. It again depends on angle of attack and path and.
And you're a reasonably high spinner of the golf ball.
I less so now. A driver I always have a little bit, but the driver heads now, some of them I'm finding I'm knuckling spin. Yeah. So I've actually gone. A little bit more. The TSR3 is a bit more mid-spin. It's not that lower spin. It's just the loft coming down to keep the flight in check. Yeah. So some of the heads now, like the Paradigm Triple Diamond, knuckled on me. So my miss is as you all know, has got a tricky little left in it. So anything that knuckles a spin off is a bad thing for me.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can get a couple miles an hour more. It's a bit of a slap, but.
And so as we alluded to, just because Simon's hitting it really doesn't give you that much insight into anything other than you can hit it straight. Yeah. You can hit it with the right spin. You can launch it with the right flight characteristics. But again, it just depends on the delivery of the golfer.
Yeah, I'll give it one more to see if I can hit 95, and then I'll just for our friend. That should be relatively close. Oh, 90. I'm going a bit quieter. 90, yeah. But this is probably the one thing with this head. So that's slightly toe side on strike, which I know because the face to path's open, but it's gone straight. Is the spins? There's no spin on it. So that's the one thing that the triple diamonds are very efficient at getting spin down. So if you're a high spin player, they're a great head. If you're a mid to low spin player, if you're moderate speed, then you might struggle to keep the ball in the air, and then the standard model that's designed to launch it high could be better for you.
Yeah, very good stuff. Stephen Presho, hi guys, love the channel. Thank you, Stephen, much appreciated. Have you tried the new Mizuno MP24s? If so, any improvement on the 22s? I believe we hit those last week. Didn't we?
Yeah, the blade is a blade, and there's not an awful lot you can do with that. They have moved a bit more mass centrally behind the strike point, so it feels a bit more solid. With the 243 and the 245, they're using some chromoly, which is an alloy, it's a slightly harder alloy, rather than just the mild steel, the 1025. That allows them to get more speed out the face. There's definitely a bit more ball speed on the 243, and I think on 245 as well, but they do feel a bit firmer as a result. And they're a little lower spin on the 243 as a result as well. So designed to get a bit more pop and a bit more distance, but at the cost of a softer feel like the 223 is.
Norwegian Warhound is in the house. It's always good. It's always a good one. So Horse Racing Legends asked, I've got my 4 Mura wedges in with precision for loft and lie adjustments. Oh, do we know who that is?
One of the other guys will have it. Matt might have it.
Simon can't test them out if Simon can test him out. Simon can test them out if he likes. It says Simon can't test them out if he likes, but Simon can test them out if he likes. We would have to go into the storeroom and start hunting down golf clubs and things like that.
Thank you.
But thank you very much. William Caulfield, hi guys. With Rory using the standard QI10, have you found the LS head is ultra low spin?
Let me hit them both. I'll give you a yes is the answer.
Simon loves hitting balls, as you can see.
It's my only chance.
I'm a little more reluctant, you know.
Well, you've been in the gym today.
More of a you know. Sorry. Lounge lizard. Yes, thank you, James.
Def lounge lizard as well.
Stick to the drums. So James Bonnet collected my new irons and wedges a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so happy with them. Disappointed they haven't stopped me shanking it on occasion though. Well, the only thing you can do is perhaps not come in from the inside so much with an open face. That might stop that from happening. Kyle Amick, what are your thoughts on single length irons? Big question, good question. I was looking at this. Well, he's got more. He's got more. He's asked more. I was looking at the new dark speed irons in single length since I'm newer to golf.
So there are 2 elements to it. One, I totally understand the principle of one length, one setup. If you're someone who's new to the game as you are, you haven't got to work out different ball positions or that side of things. And so I totally get that side. However, there's a reason more people don't do them. What you gain from a length progression is angle of attack progression. So actually it's easier to keep short irons on a stronger flight. But also you then get a pitch wedge at 7-iron length. And actually that's harder to control. So there is a gain on the one hand in that setup, and just getting, I guess you can getting proficient at that setup is easier. However, the short irons can get a little bit unwieldy.
But also from the fact that because you're losing the length in the shaft in the long irons, you're also battling with the progression of club speed to make the ball launch, have spin, and be efficient at that end. When you're someone like a Bryson that brought this into the forefront of golf, when you're packing a punch at 100 miles an hour with a 7-iron, you can make anything work. And I think it's important to stress that is not easy to make a 4-iron or 3-iron, not that we have 3 irons, but 4-iron, to perform the way you need it to perform when you've got a one length. And as you rightly say, I mean,
you've got a 7-iron angle of attack as well. So it goes the same way in the pitch wedge, because you don't get more angle of attack by the plane steepening. You don't get less of it and shallower plane in the long runs to flight them. So
what you would want to try and do is go and get a 7-iron shaft and stick it in your wedge, and then go down the short game area and have a practice with that. That'll soon dissuade you from wanting to get a single length set of golf clubs.
Even Bryson with a 60 degree at 7-iron length, he had shots others didn't have, because he could hit it higher because he had a wider arc, but he also had a lot less delicacy around. There's a reason why Seve on his wedges was down on the shaft. There's a pro and a con, but for me the con outweighs the pro.
let's see what one away with that.
So,
I wouldn't mind having a go at this as well,
look,
actually.
I think Rory's gone the standard QI10 when I did the testing with it was actually really pretty low spin still. So for Rory, does he need such a lot of the pros are actually going away from the lowest spin heads. So Morikawa was in the max, which seems a bit odd because it's a bit drawbars, but meant to be. But they possibly re-engineered one for him a bit. But yeah, they don't need the super low spin that the low spin models offer because their technique's so good that actually they can now use the kind of the mid-range ones, and particularly in this, and still get low spin. So the extra stability and forgiveness and the deeper weight position for Rory who hits up on it and under it potentially just helps maintain a bit of flight and spin, which I think was the problem when he switched to the Stealth 2, the low spin of the Stealth 2 last year.
Please tell me we've got a more lofted driver head than that.
We do, yes.
Yeah, perfect.
I've got a 12 degree in the locker somewhere.
Yeah, can't hit that. That looks like a bloody.
But I'll hit a couple with this and I'll switch to the LS just to give the.
It looks very straight faced at 9 degrees, doesn't it? Don't you think? Do you think that top edge there, the graphics, is actually not making it look as lofted as?
The fact they've got a little white. So at the top of the face, they've got a little bit of a white.
Because that looks
white marker.
That
so
looks like
just
a putter.
Across the top.
That looks like a putter.
That then is done to give a bit of a contrast, which you can actually now you haven't got the red face. It's harder to see the face. So they're doing that to help alignment. And the beauty that is Lewis Sparrow has just walked through.
Yeah.
How are you?
Come on in, Lewis. So give us 30 seconds of your time.
I'm going to hit one whilst he's doing it.
Give us 30 seconds of your time.
He sounds really enthused about that.
Yeah. If you've not checked out Lewis, he's on YouTube and he's on Instagram. 70-odd thousand.
If you nearly miss it, it's amazing how much ball speed.
Come on in, Lewis. Come on over. Come over very quickly. You've just been having a bit of an eye issue, haven't you?
Yeah, a little operation on the eye, so not a ton of golf in the last 10 days.
Anything. I can't put contact lenses in, let alone needles and things going.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm the same. General anaesthetic sorted all that out.
And you've been playing a bit of golf before that, away on some trips and stuff.
Not really. Yeah, went to Egypt, which was really good. Went to Soma Bay for the first time, which was lovely. That's an amazing short game area where they had. It was the biggest short game area I've actually ever seen, and they had worked it so you go round the outside and you have 27 different short game shots to hit. And you just work your way around. So
is there that many short game shots in short game?
I think so. Divide them by 5 yardages, you probably got that amount roughly. But
come on, Lewis, get yourself on the ramp. Let's see how it's
really.
Yeah, come on.
Let's hit some rotters
come on. Let's. Do you need a glove? GX golf gloves. Yeah.
I've heard these are really nice.
These really nice is an understatement.
A setup that really doesn't suit you?
Yeah. Let's.
Setup that doesn't suit gives me
Perfect, and cold.
Yeah. Just ask me to do this.
But you've still got a far prettier swing than either of us do.
Yeah.
Even
poorly for 10
stone
days.
cold.
Yeah.
Haven't hit a ball for 2 weeks, and you wrote me into this.
That's all right.
Stripe it right down.
As long as we can have a good laugh about it. Look, we've just had a spike in all the viewers going up. Look, just peaked at 67. Then I saw.
Excellent. So this is the new thing.
Lewis, it's not a thing.
Sorry, the tailor-made QI10.
Very good.
Here we go.
Right.
Stand by your beds.
You got a box of milk tray as well.
Stand by your beds.
Let's just see if this goes in a straight line. Nearly missed.
Did you nearly top that?
And that was very close.
I play quite low tee, to be fair.
Let me go for another.
Doesn't that look like it's got no loft on it to you?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great. What is actually on it?
9. It looks like it's got about 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's, I think my
But I think that's because we're used to seeing the face and face markings, and it is just a plain.
There you go, that was it. That's the one.
Just needed the one-shot warm-up.
That's all right, 4 right. That's all right.
Bad,
But no, look, we've just pulled you in cold. You've just been coaching,
Just found the middle.
and we. What's on the agenda for you this year?
A lot more coaching. A few more trips to go and explore some lovely places. And yeah, just a lot more of what was kind of ramping up last year, to be fair, which is good. Getting the YouTube up and running, so we're getting a few more videos out there. Plenty on Instagram as usual.
What are you on Instagram now?
77,000. So
Not 7,700.
no. So we're nearly on 80. Which is
Give me that glove back. Go on, off you go.
It's a lovely glove.
Off you go. Thanks very much.
Fantastic.
Thanks for dropping in.
The old
Well,
pro.
yeah.
He'll sell anything, won't he?
Yeah, look, what a top man for dropping in.
So the data I got on this last night, I'm not hitting it great. Considering I was sclaffing them out right, the spin wasn't too bad. I certainly in the initial testing this is pretty low spin, but the first batch of hits were rank. So from me.
Right.
So
what club head speed was he at there? 111.8. Yeah.
108. I was at.
111.8. That's what we've got to get up to.
So this one more compact head, visibly a little bit deeper. This should.
What loft is on this?
Well, I've done both 9s. I'll get some higher lofts for you.
Oh right, just make sure that you're okay.
Yeah. You've got to look after number 1, haven't you? So having missed the other ones right, I made sure it didn't go right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say that one. If you think I play an 8-degree TSR3 and I launch it at about 11, 12, that's at 9.7.
That's gonna be coming off like a wounded mallard if I hit it. Oh, we've got a lot of questions to catch up on. We got you better go and find that other head. I'm just going to very quickly hit one with this because I'm going to have to tee this up really high and just unscrew it out of the mat as far as it's going. I'm going to have to lean back. Oh my goodness! I mean, oh my goodness!
I've only got a 9 degree in that, so
Oh
you'll
right,
have to
okay.
just make it
Well,
make it
I mean,
fly.
it looks like it's got. I can't believe how little loft that looks like it's got on it. It's unbelievable. Oh, that's not pretty.
So for me, it works better because the weight's further forward. So I swing weight forward heads better. I just time them better.
Right.
I think because I've got a little bit of rotation with the club face,
Yeah.
I find a lot of weight back. I can often leave them a little bit right.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, that one's squared up. Even though it's a heavier head, it's squared up much easier than the standard.
That doesn't actually feel too bad, and I've actually got a couple of thousand revs on it.
They're actually they're a solid head.
That doesn't feel too bad. That looks far better coming off the face than it looks like it will come off the face.
It just doesn't launch it that high. I think the
right.
standard QI10 launches it a bit higher, but doesn't necessarily spin it that much. This isn't silly low on spin, but it's not a high launching head. So you need to generate some launch to get the flight on it. And really, this is in the main, a high-speed player's head.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Nothing. No no need to get a complex. Wasn't judging.
Yeah, but no, that feels and performs actually slightly better.
But for you, that 9.6, 1900, you've got to really work to get the flight up more than that.
Yeah.
Whereas when I got it, I could get it to 12 odd launch. But it's something that the head wants to come out flatter.
Yeah, that's quite hard.
Definitely
work
a stable feel this year, though.
Okay, so let's get through some of these questions. Glenn Williams, hi guys, looking at some new irons using Mizuno MP18s with Modus 105X, but since buying these I've lost about 10 miles with driver speed down to the 105. Would graphite iron shafts be an option to gain speed?
Yeah, the answer is definitely maybe. If you go, so the Modus 105 and an X are 112 grams. So there are times when lighter weight lets you swing it quicker, but actually if you lose control, then if you go too light, you can't use the club to develop speed. So it's like you could be through the shot before you're even there. So it works two ways. So if you go too light, you lose the timing, you lose the strike, you then got to steer it. So we all need a certain amount of weight in there. So just dropping weight might mean more club speed, but might mean less efficiency. So be careful with it.
Mauser, evening team, evening Mauser, nice to see you. Interested to hear your predictions for this year's major winners. We actually talked about this, was it last week?
Yeah.
Or the week before?
Yeah,
Have you had time to think about who
not
you might...
really, but I think looking at, I don't know, it's very recent past, but I think Tommy's got to be close. It's whether he can actually in those tournaments get over the line.
Well, at least he's got his teeth sorted out for the win.
He's got his veneers done. So I have the perfect smile with the trophy.
Yeah. Norwegian Warhound, great to see you. I saw that you hit the space bar, the return key a little earlier. Hit enter by mistake with the Q10 10K and maybe Black Ops. Is there a chance of playing less loft with these due to the designs? I'll take any extra ball speed I can. Cheers, fellas.
Maybe with the Max, maybe. So, I mean, take for example, Ping the 10K, the G430 Max 10K. That actually isn't any more spin than the standard 430. It's less spin. I didn't see it launch much higher. The only danger is ball speed. To use loft to gain ball speed is a little bit of a dangerous one because it depends where spin goes. So you might pick up 1 or 2 miles an hour by doing that, but I would go for a safer spin rate for consistency of flight versus trying to chase an extra 1 or 2 miles an hour ball speed and then seeing no flight.
Sean Burke asks, evening lads, I've been playing golf for many years but not upgraded my driver, still using a Ping K15. Ooh. Would it be worth upgrading considering the new advancement in technology in modern drivers?
100%. So what you're losing out on now is possibly not ball speed out the middle, but a massive amount of forgiveness. Massive. So that was the reason I switched from my M4 last year. Ball speed and flight out the middle couldn't really better by much, but I have noticed if I catch one out the heel, for example, I get to my ball in the fairway and think, I don't deserve to be this far up. And that was from an M4, which was 7, 8 years old. You stand again massively off centre.
I found that with my Callaway X-Hot to the Titleist, you get a huge difference. Mike T asks, what's the impact of Callaway removing jailbreak? Any change in performance?
I think what they've managed to do with the other structures is it's only not there because it's not necessary. So I think with some of the other material upgrades they managed to make, the stiffness of the frame, the stiffness of the composite, they've clearly got to a point where they don't feel they need to stop that kind of deformation. And certainly the ball speeds that we're seeing is definitely not lacking.
Good stuff. Sean Burke asks, evening lads. Good evening, Sean. Nice to have you with us. I've been playing golf for many years, but not upgraded my driver. I've answered that one already.
So this is sounding familiar.
Smevox, good evening, everyone. Sorry, Sean, give you a shout out twice. Mike T, is new Callaway AI TD as low spin as last year's model? Yeah,
it certainly is. It's just, it doesn't appear to be quite as knuckly out the toe, but yeah, it's a very low spin head. Yeah.
Good question here. Mike Will.M. Why was I getting better ball speed at my fitting with the blade than my game improvement clubs?
So sometimes the blade, the centre mass being a little higher up the face, just works for certain impact positions better. If you strike the ball higher up the face, then some of the game improvement irons, the centre of gravity is low because they've got a load of tungsten. You're catching it effectively too high up the face to get the efficiency. So if you tend to be a low face striker, then the game improvement clubs work really well. If you're a little steeper and more on top of it, you sometimes get as much efficiency out of a more traditional blade style head. As long as you're not missing it heel and toe. If you're high up the face, then it can be a benefit.
And goes on to ask, are we going to be doing some golf ball testing in the future? We've already done some of that, haven't we?
We will do a bit more. We are planning on having someone from one of the ball manufacturers in on one of the lives and doing a little bit on balls in the coming weeks.
Brilliant. Diggers says, Lewis has a superb swing, but let me tell you, Diggers, he can top it and we're like the best of us. Smevox, laughing out loud because I said hi everyone. Mauser's very conservative look tonight, chaps, like a pair of school teachers away on a geography field trip. Away on a geography.
We are both in black trousers.
Yeah, so I've got a white top on. I don't think you see a geography field trip in white top.
No,
it'd be mucky.
Dirty.
Yeah, it'd be mucky as hell, wouldn't you?
All the colouring you've got to do.
Yeah. Martin Williams says, thank you. You are very welcome, Martin. David Langley, good evening, David. Nice to have you with us. How does the QI 10LS, I mean, are the names of these golf clubs getting any longer or what?
Crest for inertia of 10K. That's what it stands for.
I don't care. It's a useless name. It's a useless name. Whoever sat around a table coming up with that is just wrong.
Bet they've been paid a lot though.
But exactly, they should be sacked. Worst name ever. So how does the QI 10LS compared to the Stealth 2 Plus, more or less forgiving?
More forgiving. I would say that I would say certainly from a feel point of view, like those hits, they're really stable. So I think, yeah, off centre, I think it does certainly feels more stable. And actually, there's a really good video done with Scotty Scheffler striking one out the toe of the QI10 and the Stealth 2, and there was a lot less twisting. So I think, yes, they have improved. They've gone lighter on the actual the frame material, which has allowed them to position the weight a little bit better. But yeah, definitely feels more stable. And shout out to Dave's a very, very good player. He's probably enjoying himself in cool yet sunny climes in South Carolina.
Yeah, we don't want to hear anything about that. We don't want to hear anything about that. Well, all you want is a nice worm cast lie, David, and some temporary greens. That's where your golf improvement.
I mean, you want shocking wet practice facilities, unlike the beautifully manicured ones that you're playing on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Not jealous at all.
Druss asks, I've used the Ping G2 since 2004. I have a you're as bad as me when it came to equipment, not anymore, of course. I have a TSI 3 on the way, looking forward to seeing the difference. Do you think Druss is going to see the difference between his Ping G2 and his TSI 3? What will he notice?
Is it a TSI? Is it TSI or TSR?
TSI.
So
3.
you will definitely still see a bit of it. The TSR is probably a little bit better on ball speed and spin maintenance across the face, but the TSI versus a G2, yeah. I mean, like out the middle, they're all good heads, but off centre, 100%. That's where there's a really, really tangible gain now.
Nick Elkin, good evening, gents. Are you planning on some more fitting videos?
Yes, there'll be. We're continuing to look to get some fittings videoed whilst people are in having them done. Obviously, otherwise there wouldn't be fitting videos. We're just planning those. We're away in the States. James and I are away at the trade show next week.
On a holiday, yep.
On a holiday.
Yep.
So
James has had his bikini wax done.
No, really?
That's how I know he's going on it. The good treating is a laser. A laser.
That conjures up a pretty picture. I wasn't aware he was going to the trade show dressed like that.
Yes.
But no, we'll be doing a lot of videos out there. Yeah. That's maybe we do a lot of content. But yeah, there'll be various fitting ones. And then anything you want us to do, let us know, and we'll try and incorporate them as well.
Absolutely. Horse Racing Legends ask, can you hit a left to right shot with a driver? He can do that. Happy days, no problem at all. Maybe we'll get him to do that, but he loves it in drivers and things. But we got the.
We need to do the Callaway.
Yeah, we need to do the Callaway. So we're gonna save the shot shaping for another evening. Dan Morgan, hey people, nice to see you, Dan. Peter Cantor, I'm looking for
tree striking legend.
Yes.
The video where he meant to hit one of the trees.
Yes, brilliant. I am looking for AI to get my handicap down, as my own intelligence isn't working.
I'd say intelligence is overrated in golf. Just certain.
Yeah, Lee Westwood and
Dustin.
Dustin, yeah.
If you can't think, that's a good thing.
William Caulfield says, thank you, lads, no problem at all. Tony C, lots of new equipment released, announced in the early part of 2024. Some you can talk about, some you can't. Two-part question. Part one, with the stuff that Simon has heard, read or tested, is there anything that has caught Simon's attention that has made him say, wow, I can see this making an appearance in my bag in 2024?
Okay.
Could be head, shaft, ball, or even accessory. I mean, the boy loves accessories. Have you seen the way he dresses?
I need a pair of my joys to upgrade, but anything one thing that has really stood out to me is the draw bias, and not from my own bag, but is the draw bias of the AI Smoke Max D. That is really draw bias. So anyone who suffers with a slice, that's a great head. I think that's going to be a standout.
I remember you saying about that.
For my own bag, I will be changing wedges this year, but I don't know what to. I'm really settled with my bag at the moment. I might add a 5 with him, but very happy where the bag is currently. So I haven't really thought about it for my own bag.
Yeah.
But
keep this a short answer. Yeah. We've got many more to come.
Yeah. No,
I'm joking.
No, nothing for my own bag. But that draw bias one is impressive. Yeah.
Radhika adds, have an awesome holiday, you guys.
Yeah, thanks.
James applied, work trip, Radhika.
We will
pipe
if
down.
It's dry.
Love that. That's brilliant. Yeah. Henry Dow, great fitting Friday. Yeah. Simon knows his onions.
He's got some speed.
Has he?
Dislike him. Another one with a 98 mile an hour.
Really?
6-iron speed. Yeah.
Was he about 18 or 20? Were you going to tell me he's about mid-30s?
What, age-wise?
Yes.
Just turned 30.
Has he? Oh, he's got some speed at that age. Yeah. Clearly not married and hasn't got a million children. Anyway,
Oh, yeah,
So dry 664, evening guys, Mizuno 243 245s versus the Titleist T100 and 150s. What would you guys pick for yourself and why?
So I would pick, it's interesting. So purely because of how stable it is, I would go T150. I mean, for T100 from a flight point of view for me, but T150 overall because of how the combination of the ball speed, stability off centre, cleanliness of look. The 243, 255 is still a very, very good head, but I think that the extra tungsten, the heel and the toe on the 150s, they're a little bit more stable. Having said that, it's a really tight call.
Radhika says, "Have an awesome work trip in the US." I just did that twice, but I thought it was important to knuckle down on that. William Caulfield, are you still fitting, Simon? You fitted me for a Rogue Sub-Zero with Kiyoshi White many moons ago. Would love to come back and see you.
I certainly am. My diary is a little bit more restricted now than it was. So I've got other responsibilities within the business now that I need to spend time on. But my diary is still there, but I'm currently booked out through second half of March. So it's getting pretty booked up.
Yeah. We've got other questions coming in, but very keen to get us hitting Callaway's, some of the smokes. Can we have a more lofted driver this time, if possible?
I'll get you the 10 and a halves then.
What have you got there, 9s?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what, use the 9 because it'd be a good comparison because I actually managed to get some flight on that thing when I thought there was no chance whatsoever. Paul Ped, what are your thoughts on the Ping Blueprint T and S I was fitted last week for the T?
The T is just a blade. There's a little bit of tungsten in the toe, but essentially it's a blade. There's no tech. It's very, very simple head. The S, very nice shape, forged, which Ping don't do really. They're not a forging company. But what they've done well is to get a little bit of a cavity in the back. There's no face tech. Again, it's not speed based. It's about getting a forging that gives a little bit of perimeter weighting. But they'll be popular. They're a nice, simple, clean head.
Yeah.
Very unfussy.
Brilliant. Well, let's see. In a swish. 2 turns and a swish.
So this one's the standard paradigm AI smoke.
Standard.
The Max, not the Max D
I mean,
or the Triple Dump.
It's something that you'd order at a... Okay. It's like something you'd order at a steak restaurant, isn't it? AI smoke paradigm. I mean,
it sounds like something you get in Texas. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure.
So the thing that's noticeable with this one is it looks a little more longer, kind of front to back.
Yeah.
And it's got a little arrow on the top.
Right. As in hit here.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Got it.
Or it's the same thing that happens to me with the QI10. The weight's back and it spoons it open and it goes right.
Right.
It's nothing to do with rotten technique.
No, I was going to say, it's all about the club head. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, so notably higher launch.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in the net. Give me that. That
but
seems
not
like
high spin. But that's where Callaway have always been very good.
I like this.
Look at that. He wants a new toy already.
Oh, look. No, I listen. I could be this. I quite like the look. I like the look of that. Yeah. It's very X hot shape.
I was going to say it's like.
I like the look of that. That looks all right. Reminds me of my old Callaway that Mark took out of my hands.
You good?
We good? We're dragging. Well, we'll be smoking it in a minute. Don't worry.
So
are we good? Are we okay? How are we looking?
It's sort of, there's something going on.
Yeah, it looks like it's. I'm going to hit one while it's going.
Yeah.
I like the look of this. Oh, I feel like a lethargic. Oh, look at that. We're up to 86 people watching then.
Was that my second one? That must have been my second one.
Yeah, it's your second one, yeah.
Oh, no, we can see you on there now. Yep.
Well, I mean, look, this reminds me of the old X-Hot. I quite like the look of that. Oh, that one's gone right.
Well, one of the things with this, you've got the line on the top, so just behind the face, there is where the join of the composite on the crown and the face go, which actually gives quite a good alignment mark.
That's got way more spin. I mean, for me. I know
so for you to get 13.7 out of a 9 degree, now it'll measure more loft, almost certainly than the others, but that's one of the tricks they have. But Callaway have always been good to maintain launch, but not necessarily pop. Certainly better to get launch up relative to loft, whereas TaylorMade, we've historically always used those to bring loft down relative to loft.
Yeah. Well, look, I really like the look of that. I think that's my favourite looking driver outside of the one that I've got currently, which is my Titleist. You're going to what's
I'm just going to compare the LS with the triple diamond.
The triple diamond is
on the shaft, the Callaway. I hit it with the DI earlier, but trying to do 95 miles an hour.
Right, got it, got it. So hopefully we are back up and running and you can see us. This is going to be the last, literally, am I right in saying that, James, that this is going to be the last show not using the lease line?
I hope so.
Yes, lease line being fitted next Wednesday, guys, so you'll be able to...
We'll have a week off for us being abroad as well, so there's
of course.
A bit of a buffer.
Yeah, that's right. Smevox asks, hi all, I plan to get fitted this spring for the first time in the USA. Will the fitter suggest proper irons for me, or should I know what type I'm supposed to pick beforehand? What brand do you like?
The fitter, that nearly went wrong. The fitter should be able to guide you. It's a mixture of. I didn't quite say it.
No, you didn't.
I controlled myself.
You did do very well there.
Yeah, they're there to guide you. Now, it's important to have